Perry the Worm, I want that Corey Perry. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. He's playing some really, really good hockey this year. I would honestly have him on a pitch count coming down the stretch. He'd be playing every second game for the last 15 for me to keep him fresh. But if we can get the Corey Perry that we saw last night, and to be fair, we have not seen that very much now in the 12 months he's been an Edmonton Oiler, or 11 months. Like, he wasn't that big of a rat in the playoffs. If we can get the rat worm Corey Perry like we had last night for an entire playoff run, and he keeps scoring at this clip, he will be a wildly, wildly valuable part of this team.
Yeah, you need him to have an impact on the game, and in the playoffs, we just didn't see in any point throughout the entire time. So yeah, you really need it from him, but you don't need it every night in the regular season by any means. But I wonder if this could kind of fuel him a little bit to be like, oh, that was really fun. Like in his post game, he just kept laughing about what he was doing. Like it must have felt pretty good for him yesterday, to be honest. Like obviously getting punched in the face is never ideal, but so funny just to watch this happen and him just look at the ref being like, hey, what are we doing about this? It was awesome.
That glance to the ref is so funny.
This goes back to like Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf, and those two were together, were comedy on ice in the sense of if they're not destroying you on the score sheet, they're going to take the last 5 minutes of that game and they're going to make your world hell. Corey Perry last night went in with a game plan. He's like, this game means something. We obviously had what happened on Saturday. You know, our captain gets suspended. I make these comments like, I'm going to go prove a point and I'm going to go drive the Canucks crazy because it means something. It meant something to the fans. It meant something to his teammates. And it just sends a signal to the league and also to us as fans that like the worm isn't dead. Like him not fighting there. Like I was sitting beside guys like, oh, why wouldn't he fight there? I'm like, dude, like
he negated a power play.
Corey Perry is not scared to fight Teddy Bluger. You don't think he meant to do that because he negates the power play. It also embarrasses Bluger. Like if he did that all the time, then you're like, oh, Corey Perry, like you're such a gutless rat. Like, no, he did that so intentionally, and it was so hilarious.
Yeah. Again, it's not like Corey Perry isn't willing. He's dropped the gloves this year. He's had a couple of tilts.
Yes.
He fought Joe Veleno earlier this season in Detroit. So yeah.
What a picture. That is the best picture ever.
The guy who was leading that in the piss department last night was Corey Perry. He was in full-on worm mode. You would have obviously had a bunch of battles with him being Pacific Division rivals early on in your career. Do you have like a good Corey Perry on the ice story or like a first moment where you're like, fuck this guy?
I asked him to fight multiple times. I think his year in Anaheim, like either the year those years when it was him, Getzlaf, and Bobby Ryan, like I saw him a lot. I mean, he would not give me any time of day because, I was nowhere near him and in any sense of the word early on in my career. But yeah, he was just one of those frustrating guys. I mean, I tweeted last night about it. I was dying laughing at that scrum, not here, but when, he's in the media saying, this one here there's like nothing funnier than that because somebody posted the tweet of Corey Perry saying we got to protect the best players in the league. And then you see him like in the pile and then he sees Quinn Hughes come in and just says, why not? I'm going to pile drive him. And it's the most Corey Perry thing to do. And Canucks fans just absolutely want to kill him now. But it's just, I love this by the Oilers, man. Like Connor Garland pokes at it. It's a melee. And then you go right after Quinn Hughes if he decides to come in. And we used to kind of, he's an old school guy where it's like you won't necessarily go after a skill guy, but if you insert yourself into those scrums, you're fair game. And it's just, Quinn comes in and because he's a team leader and then he gets the brunt of that. But it's the most Corey Perry thing to do, especially after saying we got to protect the top players in the game. It's just, a fan. I could only imagine being a fan of a team that hates him. Like you just want to wish the worst on him, I'm sure.
We were there not that long ago as Oilers fans. Switching to that's a great one.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.